Hello, and welcome to another edition of Interviewing the Legends, brought to you by the Publicity Works Agency, devoted to promoting musicians and authors worldwide. Call us today at 941-877-1552 to start your free publicity evaluation. Remember, we shine only when we make you shine. Please welcome the host of Interviewing the Legends, music journalist, author, and entrepreneur, Ray Shasho.
Hello once again, everyone. I'm your host, Ray Shasho. Welcome to another edition of Interviewing the Legends on BBS Radio, brought to you by the Publicity Works Agency. Call us today, 941-877-1552, or email us at publicityworksagency.com. Remember, we shine only when we make you shine. In the ramp-up to Wishbone Ash's 50th anniversary, the band is celebrating its 49th year in characteristic fashion with an extended tour. Dubbed 49, the tour began in October of 2018 in the UK, followed by early 2019 dates in Europe and Japan. This spring, 49 arrives on these shores. Longtime fans and new converts alike will revel in the group's signature twin guitar mastery and powerhouse rhythm section as they present classics spanning their career. The U.S. leg of the 49 tour will revisit some of the band's favorite venues as well as new ones from the eastern seaboard to the Rocky Mountains. Formed in 1969 in London, England, Wishbone Ash is one of the most influential guitar bands in the history of rock. True road warriors, each year they log around 30,000 miles, roughly, equivalent to circumnavigating the Earth. By 1969, the Beatles, the blues boom, and psychedelia had made their impact on classic rock, and the creative possibilities were infinite. Pioneering the use of twin lead guitars, Wishbone Ash jumped on board the progressive rock scene. Taking full advantage of the fertile musical environment, they produced a distinctive brand of melodic rock. Inspired equally by British folk traditions, American jazz, and R&B, the group played to public and critical acclaim. Power and melody have made the Ash a hard act to follow, while they are currently being discovered by new generations of local rock fans. The quintessential road band Wishbone Ash has gained worldwide recognition, based firmly on a regime of relentless touring. The Ash has, to its credit, 24 original studio recordings, 11 live albums, and 5 live DVDs, along with a DVD rockumentary. Released April 2018, the Vintage Years, a 30-disc box set, 3.5 years in the making, is a special collection dedicated to the band's output from 1970 to 1991, including all 16 studio albums, 3 live albums, 8 previously unreleased live shows from 73 to 80, a 156-page coffee table hardcover book, and an assortment of memorabilia. Also available is the 5th Roadwork CD, live in Sacramento, recorded on the 2018 North American tour, and the first official releases in decades of Twin Barrels Burning from 1982 and Raw to the Bone from 1985. In 2015, Powell released his musical memoir, Eyes Wide Open, True Tales of a Wishbone Ash Warrior, co-written with renowned Irish music journalist Colin Harper, and available in Kindle and Apple iBook formats. There is no other rock band in history that has done more with the twin guitar concept than Wishbone Ash. Be sure to catch them on the U.S. tour in April through May 2019, and stay tuned for the 50th anniversary tour in 2020. Please welcome legendary guitarist, singer, and songwriter for Wishbone Ash, Andy Powell, to Interviewing the Legends. Hello, Andy.
Hey, Ray. I'm exhausted just listening to that run up there.
So am I. You know, it's hard to get it all in, man. He had such a long career.
Yeah, that's right. And it's difficult every night knowing which selections of music to play, to be honest with you.
It is hard.
Yeah, it's a life in rock. A life in rock.
Exactly. Last time we chatted, I reviewed Elegant Stealth, and I said it was a superlative mix of progressive rock virtuosity, and I gave it 5 stars. That was a great album back then.
Yeah, that was a very nice album to make, I got to say. And since then, we've done the Blue Horizon album.
Right. And you got the U.S. tour. You know, this is, I guess, confusing a few guys. It's the 49th anniversary here in the U.S. And the U.S. tour is from April through May of this year. And I think the 50th anniversary tour, does that kick off in the UK?
Yeah, because the band was formed in October of '69.
Okay.
So, you know, we're leading up to the year-long celebration of that year. You know, so 2019 October, that's when it officially kicks off. But, you know, we're kind of like talking about the 50th a lot at the minute, and it was kind of in this year, so it's all kind of blending into one, really. But, you know, the official start of it is in October.
Yeah, you got it.
I don't have a problem. I don't have a problem talking about 50 years in music right now with you.
Yeah, it's amazing how many bands are celebrating their 50th year this year.
Yeah, well, it is actually, because I think part of the reason for that is that there was this massive explosion of creativity in the late 60s and early 70s. And for some reason, well, for an obvious reason, really, I mean, those bands laid down deep roots like ourselves, and the music just stood the test of time. And you're talking about an era where people could really play and really create, and songwriting was, you know, a revered, you know, artistic endeavor. So I think all of those things have come together, and you're finding that, you know, a lot of bands from our era have that kind of longevity.
Well, I thank God every day that we had bands from that era still around like you guys, man, because I could not take what's on mainstream radio.
Well, you know, it's the same for me. I mean, I'm sitting in the vehicle right now listening to music, and I'm putting out some new stuff, but there's a goodly portion. I mean, I just switched the music up to speak to you, and I'm listening to David Bowie. You know, I listen to some Zeppelin. I pull up the Beatles. You know, it's just it's stuff. It's just like the gift that keeps on giving.
Exactly. Yeah, those kind of artists they'll never die out. They'll always be around, and
that's right.
And hopefully each young generation will find them. You know.
Well, they seem to be. They seem to. You know.
Well, you always had a Florida connection. You know, I'm in the Tampa Bay area, but I don't see any Florida dates coming up. What's going on there, Andy?
Well, we break the United States up into 2 touring blocks.
Right.
So the next block of touring will be in the spring next year, and for sure we'll hit Florida. But yeah, our connection with Florida was we recorded at least 3 or 4 albums down there at Criteria Studios in Miami.
Right.
And so, you know, that was a very creative hub. You're talking about the studio, which was responsible for Layla, Hotel California, Saturday Night Fever,
right?
Joe Walsh, Wishbone Ash. I mean, Leonard Skinner. We all recorded there, and it was just such a great memories for me to be working in that studio with the producers, the people, the talent that was down there.
Now, do you guys, are you still doing Ash Fest, or is that?
Yeah, we have 2 festivals. We have if it takes place in the United States, it's Ash Fest.
Right.
We've done one of those for a while. But we have one in the UK, which is Ash Convention.
Right.
And we do that every year. This year it's in Leicester, UK. And then, you know, we've had them on cruise ships, and yeah, so they're like fan conventions for the uninitiated.
Right. It's kind of like the Comic-Con of Wishbone Ash.
Exactly. exactly. I mean, one of the things I'm most proud of, Ray, is that we've created this community, for good or bad.
Yep.
And, they follow us. They enjoy meeting like-minded souls when they come to shows. It's a great mix of people, and it crosses, national boundaries, So when we have these conventions, people, they get on airplanes and trains and they go to, other countries. It's an opportunity to travel, and mix it up with music.
I think it's awesome. You guys perform at these things also, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And we have anything that's Wishbone related. We'll have tribute bands. We'll have other bands that maybe are simpatico with the kind of music that we produce. And there's stalls, there's arts and crafts, all kinds of stuff going on. It's like a weekend affair, really.
Right. I think the most incredible thing you guys have done recently has got to be the box set. Oh my gosh!
Yeah, that was a project from hell. I mean, it turned out beautifully, but it was about 3 years in the making. Yeah. So we basically, like a lot of bands from our era, you want to kind of pull together all of the material. From the classic era, that's what we did in the first 30 years. And we limited it to the first 30 years, first 20 years, I should say. So, but just a little bit longer than that. And so, we featured a lot of outtakes and recordings that never seen the light of day before. And, as you mentioned in your preamble there, the production was exquisite, the coffee table book there was all kinds of artifacts, and if you're a fan, or Ash aficionado, as I call them,
right.
You would just love this thing. Every time I open the thing, it just pops. There's just so much material and history in it, and it's a beautiful package, a beautiful, thing to keep and cherish.
Is this the first time you've had your entire the repertoire in one place like this?
Yes, yeah, it is. And we remastered everything. We balanced everything so that you could really enjoy it as a whole entity. And what we're thinking now is we might even try and collect everything from the subsequent 30 years, because everyone knows about the classic years of bands like us, but they don't always realize that we've been very creative subsequently, and there's also another huge body of work since, like, say, 1990. So you're talking about almost 30 years on from that. So this is like phenomenal. I mean, when we started out, it was 4-track recording, then it went to 8-track, then 16-track.
Mm-hmm.
So we've actually experienced the entire evolution of recording.
This was very important to the band. I mean, to have it all in one place like that,
Well, it's an incredible legacy, and if nothing else, it's just phenomenal for fans to be able to get that, pass it on to their kids. I mean, I'm passing them on to my kids.
Yep.
It's just not only is it a record of our band, but it's also a beautiful record of what it was like to be in a rock band in the 1970s, started in 1969.
Yeah.
And so, it's a kind of a real historical document.
Did you know, have you heard of, Frank Marino from Mahogany Rush? You probably played with him.
Yes, I have. Of course.
I know Frank, and he had all his masters destroyed. Somebody recorded over them.
Oh,
so
that's tragic.
Isn't that tragic? That's why this is such an important thing that you did. You got all this documented.
Well, we had tapes stored all over the world, and we had to. You're talking about giant 2-inch magnetic tape reels that weigh about 30 pounds each, and yet we had to stabilize all the old magnetic tape. Without getting too technical, it's a process of actually fixing the magnetic dust on those tapes. You have to actually bake them in an oven very carefully and slowly it's like fixing photographic print or something, and then you transfer it to digital medium. And it was a very, very painstaking process. That's why it took so long.
This is 30 discs we're talking about, right?
Well, yeah, 30 discs. I mean, the studio recordings are one thing, but then you've got all the outtakes, the live recording,
right?
The whole picture.
Oh, it's just fantastic. I haven't gotten mine yet, but I will. I'll probably get mine tomorrow.
Okay, excellent.
Yeah. I noticed on Amazon too. There's a paper sleeve box set, and it goes for $900. Have you seen that?
That's the one I'm thinking about. It's Japanese.
Oh, is it?
And I think it might be $900. My goodness me.
Yeah.
No, the only other one I know is it's a much smaller affair, and they've reproduced the albums, in miniature, really.
Right.
As CD. That's the only other one I know. But there could be, I don't know. That's new to me, so I'll have to check that out.
Yeah, maybe somebody's just trying to, hustle and make some money out of it or something.
You never know.
Yeah, that actually happened to me with my book. Somebody raised the price to like a few $100s. I said, it'll never sell for a couple $100.
Well,
Come on.
It happens, yeah. There's all kinds of stuff going on the internet. It's a mysterious world.
It is a mysterious world. So you're up north now, and you don't live that far from Richie Blackmore, right?
Well, he used to live in the town that I live in. I've lived in the States for 35 years. But I think he moved some years ago. But one neighbor that I do have is Keith Richards.
Really?
I've never met him. There's quite a few rock and roll guys up there in New England. But I guess it's because of the proximity to New York. But I don't know why or how I found myself up there. But I enjoy living up there. And, it's been 36 years I've lived there. So, but, Richie was, story with Richie was, he was actually directly responsible for us getting signed to Decca MCA.
Right.
Because we played a show with them, and I did a jam session with him, and he liked the band, and he put a word in with their producer, and one thing led to the next, and then the next thing we were offered a recording contract with Decca in LA, Universal City. So, I owe Richie kind of a debt of gratitude, really.
I interview his wife a lot, Candace. Candace Knight.
She seems charming.
She is awesome. Yeah. She is so cool. And she was a radio personality for a while, too.
Is that right?
Yeah, that's how she met Richie. She was with the radio, and they did a soccer match, the radio station against Deep Purple, and that's how she met Richie.
I played soccer with Richie once.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's a soccer nut, yeah.
He's a soccer, yeah. His house is supposed to be like very medieval looking, very cool,
I think he's into that medieval world.
Yeah. That's pretty awesome. Last time we talked, I talked about the two lead guitarists, and how what sparked you for the idea, and I believe you told me it was all from a song called Blind Eye, and it was the horn section. You used to play on a solo. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, in my teens I played in what we call soul bands.
Right. Yeah, and that's something.
So classic, playing really American music on air bases in Britain, American air bases. And we would play the songs that the servicemen wanted to hear, which was basically, Wilson Pickett, Otis Redding, Sam Dave. So we had quite a big band. And of course it involved horns. And so I got quite adept at working out horn arrangements. And so, I honed my sense of harmony and melody. And so when we formed Wishbone Ash, which was just a four-piece band, two guitars, bass, and drums.
Yeah.
To try and make more of that, we hit on the idea of harmonizing the guitars like a horn section.
That's really interesting. I would have never thought that.
Right, yeah, I mean, the thing is that pretty much everything had been done with guitars in the mid-'60s.
Yeah.
If you think about it, with lead guitar. So we were looking to come at it with a different angle. And so we came up with the twin lead idea, I mean, Fleetwood Mac were doing it a little bit, but we just took it a lot further. And of course, subsequently, we've influenced a bunch of different bands, heavy metal bands, Judas Priest, Iron Maiden, those kind of acts.
Yeah.
But also some of the younger bands as well. I mean, it's a very effective tool to use the electric guitars, the lead guitars, to produce riffs in harmony. It catches the ear. It's very appealing.
Yeah. You know who I have on the show tonight is Dennis Coffey. You remember the Funk Brothers?
Oh yeah.
He was
very cool.
Yeah, we talked Motown. He was a guitar player for a lot of the Temptation songs, and
I'd love to hear that.
Yeah, that's on tonight.
I mean, that's so cool because those bands they played, they really were the forerunners. I mean, everybody thinks that in the early 70s rock players were fully formed, but we weren't. We came out of listening to people like Dennis, and we were, if you were a guitar player, it was a pretty big deal to step out and play lead.
Right.
A lot of the lead playing on those records was fairly minimal, but the rhythm work was superb, and that's where you really got your grounding as a guitar player, was listening to those kind of records. So I'm eternally grateful for that era, and that's how I honed my skills. I didn't become a lead guitarist until I felt I could comp, as we say, well on rhythm,
Right. Well, you will always be cemented in our minds with the Flying V, of course.
Yeah, that's my thing.
Yeah. Now, I've got to mention something here. What I saw on your website, which was so cute, was that now I'm thinking she's your granddaughter with the pink Flying V.
She's my granddaughter, yeah. We bought her a pink Flying V and she was rocking out in my music room there.
That is so awesome.
Yeah.
She's got the look, man, I tell you that.
Oh, yeah. She's got the attitude.
Yeah. Can she actually play? Can she play anything yet?
Not especially, no. She's more about posing with the. She may well.
Well, she's got
a little young right now.
Well, she's got Granddad's face, guitar face. That's for sure.
Yeah, she's got the guitar face, that's for sure.
Another guy I've had on my show was your first manager, Miles Copeland.
Yeah.
But
absolutely.
Yeah, I've had Miles on the show. We talked a lot about all kinds of stuff. He's a good guy. What was...
Miles. Yeah, Miles was a huge part of the team that wrote Wishbone Ash. I mean, Miles was really the fifth member of the band.
Really?
Well, yeah. I mean, like a lot of managers in those days, I mean, you couldn't just do it on the music. You needed an entrepreneur. You needed somebody to take risks, and Miles was a fantastic manager for us.
That's good. That's good to hear. And he was good, of course, with the Police and so many other guys,
Yeah, but, he cut his teeth on bands like us.
Yes.
I think we were his first band.
Yeah.
So by the time he got to the Police and R.E.M., he was well schooled in, in how to handle himself and to cut through the business.
Right.
So, but, I mean, we went through the tough years with him, for sure.
Yeah, it was really interesting. I love to talk about management and producers and things. I had Miles Copeland. I had Peter Asher on the show, which was another.
Excellent.
Yeah, another one.
Great entrepreneur. Yeah, I mean, those people, back in those days, they crafted their artists and they built them up.
Yeah.
And I was, part of the longevity. The reason for longevity is because I come from that era where artists were developed. They didn't just go on The Voice, and it was like it took time, and it took a team of people, and that's deep stuff because you form a teamwork. Everybody's got their role in an organization, and you've got a plan, and it's a really strategic thing. And he certainly cut his teeth with Wishbone Ash, and we cut our teeth with him. It's great.
Today people mention, you got all these tools today, YouTube, this and that, whatever. But it was nothing like what you guys had back in the day. We
had nothing. The great thing that came along, really, that kicked it home for us was FM radio.
Right.
in the States. You know, I mean, you remember those days. I mean, when that's when it really opened up for bands, because the FM radio was backing up the live touring, and stadium rock was fairly new. I mean, you know, bands were just trying to get together with the sound systems and figure all that out. You know, playing bigger venues, so everything came together in one bubble. And you know, you had these fantastic managers, you had FM radio, and you had the stadium rock thing just starting out with bands like The Who and the Floyd, you know, were starting to really get to grips with sound and lights and visuals. And, you know, so it was a great day for the fans. It was a great period. You know, the summer festivals, all of that. We take it for granted now, but
I know.
They were pioneers in all of that, you know?
They sure were. And the money maker was the record albums, you know, where now it's like the concert venues, you know.
Yes, that's right. The action is on the road. It's back where it always was.
Right.
Which is touring. You know, so, you know, there's nothing wrong with that. It just, it's just that, you know, for younger artists, it's hard to actually sustain yourself just from records, you know.
Boy, the prices of tickets, though, you know, when I used to go to Rock, I mean, I went to 1 million of them, and the standard price was $650, $550, and $450.
Yeah, oh yeah. I mean, me too. I mean, it was a different era. I mean, now you're looking at $500 for Rolling Stones, right?
Yeah, that's crazy. I saw the Rolling Stones for $9, I think, and I had a front row seat.
Well, I think I can be sort of a high bar for free.
For free?
Yeah.
Well, of course, we wish Mick the best. You know, the procedure he's having done, that my dad just had 2 stents put in, so it's really not a big deal. Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard that. It's 95% success rate, so
exactly.
You should be in good hands.
He'll be in and out probably like 40 minutes, 35, 40 minutes.
Really?
It's fast.
My God.
It's amazing. Oh. It's amazing what they can do for the heart today, you know?
Phenomenal, yeah.
It is. Well, congratulations on your book as well. It's called Eyes Wide Open, True Tales of a Wishbone Ash Warrior.
Thank you.
You've got Ian Rankin doing the forward. Now, a lot of people, he's a very well-known author. He's got
that's right.
He's got a new book out called In a House of Lies that comes out in May. And you also got Colin Harper as a contributor as well.
Yeah, well, that's awesome. I mean, you know, Ian is Inspector Rebus books are world famous.
Yes.
And, but I found out he was a fan of Wishbone Ash back in the day, and he was honored to do the forward to my book. So that was really superb. And I came to a few shows, we had a few drinks. It was great. Really down to earth guy, Scotsman. And it was a nice. That was a nice gift.
Great book. Everybody needs to buy it. I've got a book that's in production now called the Rockstar Chronicles. It's got over 50 interviews that I've done. It's going to be a series of 4 because I've done thousands of interviews, and I'll probably include this interview. I'll get your permission, of course, down the road on one of the series. But the thing that was tough is getting the permissions through for the photos and also getting approvals from the artists for the interviews. And that took a while. Did you have any issues?
Yeah. No, we don't really have any issues.
Really?
There may be the odd photographer, though. I mean, they certainly love a credit.
Yep.
So, yeah, check with me on that. But, yeah, the photographers, I mean, some of the early photographers, I think you have to get permission because they were stars in their own right. Some of the early, rock photographers. But these days, not so much.
Did you keep a record, like a journal or anything, or how did you come up with this?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I catalogued everything. And my wife also collected every press clipping, every photo. So by the time I came to do the book, I had, storage units full. And it was like a real labor of love.
Oh, great.
Go through and select not only photographic material, but to verify dates and times. it's really hard. I mean, when you're...
It is.
You know, in the early 70s, I mean, I kind of lost that decade because I was too busy partying, you know, and traveling. And, yeah, I mean, I didn't realize that at some point I'd need to... Well, I kind of did. I kind of realized that it was very significant and I should note it down. You know, for the most part, a lot of it survived. I was really shocked how much... also from a business standpoint, you know, because when I started managing the band in the early 90s, I collected everything from that period. And that also really helped with jogging the old memory, you know. And,
yes.
You know, when you write a book, it's got to be, the span's now almost 50 years, it's got to be factually correct, it's got to be, you know, you got to get your timelines right.
It's a lot of work. How long did it take you to... How long did it take you?
It was brutal. I mean, a full year, and it was like the worst homework assignment you ever had at school. It was like, you know, in a good way, though. I mean, but it was always there. You know, if I had downtime or, you know, an hour or two here or a weekend, I'd have to knuckle down, and I'd just be like surrounded with notes and. Oh, it was just like forensic, man. It was, but the end result was so rewarding. I can't even begin to tell you. So, you know, I was very, very. It was a cathartic experience, and it was good on every level, personal and career-wise. You know, it was just a beautiful thing to do it, but it was taxing, you know, in the extreme.
Well, man, you've got your legacy covered, man. You got the book, you got the box set.
Yeah, yeah. I know. I'm really, really proud of that. I'm really happy, and I feel kind of satiated by that. But it hasn't taken the fire out my belly as far as, you know, touring and stuff.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, we're working on a new album right now.
Oh, good.
So
awesome.
when that'll come out, I'm not exactly sure. But
right.
You know, I mean, there's always something work in progress. Plus, there's some other sort of stuff coming out from the early archives that perhaps wouldn't have made the box set, but it's interesting in its own right. So there's always something going on.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, you kept the band together. You know, you've done an excellent job all through these years for keeping the band together, and that's hard to do. It really is.
Well, you know, when some of the early guys left, I realized that one thing I did realize was that we'd really created a community.
Uh-huh.
And we couldn't just, you know, leave those guys and gals high and dry. We had, you know, we wanted to keep it going and wanted to, you know, so for the longest time possible, I kept the flame alive, and then I kind of fed off the flame. Right. And it took on a new life of its own. So, you know, that was a process. That really kind of happened in the early 90s. And what kicked it off really was before the days of crowdfunding, we actually got our fans to assist in the making of an album, which was the Illuminations album. And that was, it was like crowdsourcing, you know, where like Pledge Music or Kickstarter, except it wasn't called that. We just did it through the fan community, through the fanzines, and then through the early internet website, you know, that we had in '94. And so, you know, there were a lot of things that were first at that time. And it really set the stage for the way the music business was going to change and how we were going to adapt to it.
Exactly.
So, you know, that was like really crucial for us. And the brand, you know, the brand Wishbone Ash, it took on a new lease of life. And it became something a little bit different from what it had been.
Boy, that's a subject of controversy now. Is who's gonna, you know, end up with the band name, you know? And there's so many fights and things.
You see a lot of bands going through those battles. Yeah. It was quite simple with Wishbone because one by one the early members left. Right. And you know, yeah, we had a little bit of court action, and we had to sort of settle things, but, you know, basically, if you never left the band, you know, which I never left, I had to stop doing it, it kind of devolved and came into my purview, you know, so exactly. Basically, that's how I ended up being, I was basically the sole survivor.
Yeah. The thing I don't like is when there's and here's an example. I went to see Pablo Cruz, Firefall. I know the guys from Firefall, and the Little River Band. They headline. There's not one guy, original guy from the Little River Band, and they have the name. That I don't understand.
I don't like that. No. That's weird.
That is weird.
That's weird.
Very strange.
Oh, well, I've always been very keen to keep that continuity and that integrity and the thread running through the band. I mean, depending on, how many, so quite a few people through this band. So the thread of the integrity is always kept.
Yes.
Through all the albums. And that's really important to me and the fans.
Well, Miles got about the original band together back in late '80s or something, right? Which
That's
was
right. Yeah.
It was and a success too. You guys did very well.
Yeah, we had a really nice 3-year reunion, and we did also the Night of the Guitars tour album, and 2 or 3 albums for IRS Records under Miles' auspices. So it was a good era for the band.
Do you still talk to Martin?
Martin, no, I don't. Martin Turner, the original bass player. No, we really don't. I mean, our lives are just, they moved in completely different directions,
Yeah.
And Steve Upton, the original drummer, he moved to France.
Right.
And he's not even in the music business anymore. So I don't cross paths with them. I'm out there doing my thing, putting the band on the road. I mean, I'm all over the place. I was in Japan a couple of weeks ago. I was in Canada. I'm just not gonna bump into them. I don't even live in Britain anymore. So
right.
So it's tricky, but you never know.
Have you ever crossed paths when he's on tour and you're on tour and end up in the same city or anything like that?
No. Well, there was one time when we played in a place called Dartford, which is the birthplace of Mick Jagger.
Okay.
And we always play this one venue down there. It's a venue called the Mick Jagger Center.
Really?
Mick lent his name to this venue. It's a great place in England. And I believe Martin was playing in the same city in a small club that night. But of course, I was busy doing my gig. He was doing his gig. But we have met up in the past on the road. Sometimes he's come to a show. He's sat in with the band, and Ted Turner sat in with the band.
Right.
In places like Worcester and Phoenix, where he lives. So that's happened, but not frequently, and not in the recent few times.
I remember seeing the video of David Gilmour and Roger Waters meeting each other because they were in the same, sound stage or something by coincidence.
Yeah.
And that was like the first time they ever talked in years. And then, after that, they got together for that one reunion, that big reunion concert.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's tricky because when you're a young band in your early 20s, you're like soul brothers, you're living, eating, sleeping together.
Yep.
But you get married, you go off, you have your own lives.
True.
And then you might not see someone for 30, 40 years.
That's a long time.
School reunion, I'm sure you've done those.
Yep.
You go back there and you're like, you can't even recognize the people.
Yeah.
Right?
That's true.
And it totally surprises you. Sometimes the shyest kid at school, it becomes an extrovert and has a successful business career.
Yep.
And you don't even recognize them, so.
True.
It's like that, really.
Yeah.
Rock bands are like that. It's like everyone they want to believe that, you're still carrying on like this great group, but it's not like that.
Your son, is it Ainsley Powell?
Yeah.
Interesting that his name has 2 great drummers in it.
I know. That wasn't by accident. He was named after Ainsley Dunbar.
Right. And Cozy.
Ainsley Dunbar was. Well, he was in a band called Ainsley Dunbar's Retaliation.
Right.
And they were. they were one of the first bands that Wishbone Ash opened for, you know?
Huh.
So, yeah, when Ainsley came along, and ironically, he became a drummer, which is kind of neat.
That is kind of neat. Now, what you did live in Paris, I think, and didn't he perform in that DVD or something, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, he's always been kind of somewhat associated with the band. He's written songs for the band.
Right.
He's he's grown up with it.
Pretty cool. Yeah.
It's been nice.
And of course, your granddaughter's going to be a great guitar player when she grows up.
Who knows, man? Who knows?
I just want to mention the current band, the Wishbone Ash band, is you on guitars and vocals. You've been there since about '69, I guess. Bob Skeet on bass.
Yeah, Bob's been in the band for 23 years.
Yeah, a long time.
Absolutely.
You got Joe Crabtree on drums.
Yes, he's about a 14-year veteran. So yeah, it's great. The band's been very stable, but the new guy, Mark, was been about 2 years.
Mark Abrahams.
Mark Abrahams, yeah. Big guitar player.
Exactly. In your book, or did you mention anything about groupies? What were the groupies like back in the day?
Well, we met the Butter Queen. I think I mentioned that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we met Cynthia Plasticaster. I met Connie Hampy. Goodly number of them, actually, yeah. Lovely girls.
Lovely girls. I had Carmine.
Well, if you write a book, a rock book, you got to have a little bit of
course,
action in there somewhere. But they were good. It was a different time. It was an amazing era.
It was. I had Carmine Appice on the show recently too, and he admitted how many women he slept with, which was a ridiculous number.
Well, yeah, he's on another level.
Andy, I asked you this question a long time ago also, but I always get some interesting answers. If you had a Field of Dreams wish, like the movie, to perform or collaborate with anyone from the past, who would that be?
Well, that's kind of tough because I actually got to fulfill my wish and perform. Well, I recorded with two of the Beatles, which is pretty cool.
Right.
Yeah, Pete Townsend's always been an inspiration to me.
Yep.
But I hear he's a miserable bugger.
Really?
I would love to play on a track with him. He's just been such an inspiration to me. And I'm currently doing some sleeve notes for a Peter Green book.
Oh, really?
Sorry, a Peter Green, record release. They just managed to unearth some previously unavailable recordings of the early Fleetwood Mac, and I was asked to do the sleeve notes, so I'm honoured to do that. So, yes, some of these things, they come along from time to time, you do get to fulfill your dream, you know?
Yeah, I love Peter Green, man. I wish he was still out there playing, you know?
He was the best, yeah. Well, he is playing, but he's not quite the gentleman he was.
Right.
He has a different, but yeah, I mean, they did get him back on the road, but his mentality is somewhere different. But he was such an inspiration, and probably the greatest British blues player, I would say. Incredible player.
I think so. I think you're right. You know, I like the original Fleetwood Mac. The commercial Fleetwood Mac I was really not into at all, you know?
No, yeah. The original band, fantastic band.
Yeah. See, they were in the lines of like Wishbone Ash, you know, that kind of era. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Our paths crossed in so many ways.
Yeah.
The twin lead thing, the orange equipment, the crazy stuff that went on for them in Los Angeles, the crazy stuff that happened to us with the same people in Los Angeles. It was just our paths and our history paralleled theirs in so many ways.
Exactly.
It was quite bizarre.
Exactly. And some of your favorite players, I think you mentioned one time Albert King.
Well, as far as the blues players, I always loved Albert King.
Yeah.
It's part of the reason that I use the Flying V. Not the only reason, but Albert King is true inspiration. I just there's something about him. It's kind of out of a lot of the blues players, he just had this kind of aggression in his playing, which I loved.
I think you liked all the Kings, right?
I did, yeah. Freddie King. I mean, how could you not, you know?
Yeah, B.B. King.
There's a lot of them, right?
There's a lot of them, yeah. There's a reason why they have King in their name, right?
That's right.
Andy, have anything else you'd like to promote or chat about?
No, I just think I want to thank everyone for sticking with the band, and we're getting ready to start this 1 month-long tour of United States, and if you make it to a show, we usually do the Midwest and the East Coast around this time of year, and then like next March we'll do the South and the West Coast. So if you miss us this time and you live on the West Coast, you'll catch us beginning of next year, next spring. But it's a big country to tour. But just go to the Wishbone Ash website and Facebook, of course. That's where you find all the news on the band and all the action. You know.
Well, you can count me in when you guys come to Florida for sure.
Yeah, I look forward to seeing you, and just keep us posted. And I'm sure I'm not sure if we'll do Tampa, but we could well do that area. Yeah.
Well, if you do Orlando, we're only about an hour and a half from Orlando, so.
Yeah, we often play Orlando. Yeah. That'll be a good one.
Awesome. Andy, thank you so much, man, for being on the show today, for all the incredible music you've given us. Continue to bring. Good luck on the tour, and stay in touch about the new album so we can promote the hell out of it.
Absolutely. Thanks so much, Ray. All the best.
All the best to you too, Andy. Thank you so much.
Cheers. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. For more information about Andy Powell and Wishbone Ash, visit www.wishboneash.com. Also, Facebook at Wishbone Ash, wishbone.ash.official, and Twitter at wishboneash_.com. Purchase the Vintage Years 1970 through 1991, the limited edition box set. Incredible amount of music from the legendary Wishbone Ash. The release date was in 2018. You've got 30 discs, and they're available now at Amazon.com. Also, purchase Andy's book, Eyes Wide Open, True Tales of a Wishbone Ash Warrior by Andy, and also it's Andy Powell author. Ian Rankin did the forward, and Colin Harper was a contributor to that book. Incredible stories. Very special thanks to the great Billy James of Glass Onion PR for arranging this interview with Andy Powell, and of course, the dynamic duo of Doug and Don Newsom of BBS Radio for making the magic happen for each and every broadcast of Interviewing the Legends. If you have comments or suggestions for the show, contact me at interviewingthelegends@gmail.com. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel, Interviewing the Legends with Ray Shasho, for the very latest interviews. It's real news, people. And don't forget to purchase a copy of my book entitled Check the G's, The True Story of a Neglected American Family and Their Wacky Family Business. Available now at Amazon.com, and I promise you will live it. Have a great week, everybody.
Thank you, everybody, for listening to Interviewing the Legends. Brought to you by the Publicity Works Agency. Call 941-877-1552 or visit us at publicityworksagency.com, specializing in author and music artist publicity plans. We shine when we make you shine. Tune in to Interviewing the Legends every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Pacific Time on BBS Radio, Station 1.